so that everybody's on the same page, let me just pass this out. I'm going to be sending electronic versions of the, I'll send some this way, electronic versions of this to all of the faculty members tonight. We looked at the time we have between now and the rest of the semester, and so the first thing is a timeline. We also have some forms for the student philanthropy boards to use in recording the results of your evaluation. And I want to save most of the time for Jill McCracken, who is going to talk about a process that we have that might be useful to you to help your student boards decide, get on the same page in terms of evaluating the proposals. So, just in terms of the timeline, tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock you'll get both your electronic copies of all of the proposals for your board. You can also, is that the time that the hard copies can be picked up?
Are we having them pick up or delivered? If you want to pick them up, they can pick them up.
Yeah, you won't be able to.
Yeah.
Do we not yet?
So to go to the Campus Activity Center to pick up we'll give you 4 paper copies. Unless you need more, you need to let us know. But you'll get the electronic copies. As far as then between tomorrow and April 8th at 5 p.m., go to your evaluation. This is when you can get down and look at everything and come to a decision, hopefully. But we're asking that by 5 p.m. on April 8th, which is a Thursday, each of the boards gives the LLS committee the final report on the evaluations that you've done, including a ranking form with the total numerical score for all the grant applicants for each grant evaluator. There's a proposal evaluation form that we're going to share with you today. Every member of the board who does an evaluation of a proposal should complete one of those. And then finally, a short narrative report from your board saying what you thought the strengths were of the top proposal, and we would like to have the names of the students on the board. Now, part of the reason that we're asking for these forms is that this is going to be the kind of documentation that we will need when we're audited for our LLS grant. Part of it is also, in the event that an organization, as they have the absolute right to do, inquires about why didn't my organization receive a grant, what we'll be able to do is show them the total score that they received. They're not going to get students' names. They're not going to get your individual evaluation of their proposal, but they can see how their total score compared in terms of the score of the grant applicant that got the grant. So this will give us, if there's any concern, that's something that the board can, the LLS committee can field, and it won't have to go back to your professor or to your class. So once we get that April 8th, on April 9th, the committee is going to meet to look at your evaluations, your recommendations. There may be some need for additional clarification, so as of April 9th, we'll do one of 3 things. Go ahead and approve your recommendation. If we need to ask the board for clarification, we'll begin to do that. And more likely, at least based on our experience last semester, we may find that we need to get some clarification from the organization. And usually that's because there's some disconnect between the budget request that they made and the narrative that they provided. If that's the case, we need to find out that information in order to ascertain that we understand it well and that it fits within the funding guidelines of this grant. Also, it could happen, I don't know if it will, but it could happen that one organization submits more than one grant to more than one board, and if both of those proposals end up at the top of the ranking, what we're going to need to do is go back to that agency and say, which of these 2 grants is your top priority? Because we are concerned about making sure that